Liver King.
Mm.
He's very sorry.
He's absolutely sorry.
He didn't mean to. And people hurt themselves every day. So, yeah. No, it was interesting to watch that apology. I think you can sense my reception of it was I was pretty impressed by the lack of ownership taken, even though the words "I fully own this" were stated.
Right.
So for those of you who aren't following, More Plates, More Dates, a YouTube channel, made a video exposing this guy, the Liver King, who lifts a lot of weights, does a lot of really interesting, crazy stuff, including some things that people laugh at, like, tanning the underside of your body
Yep.
In a primal way. And he looks like he is on steroids. And it sounds like a lot of people in the know is undeniably looks like you can't get that physique at his age without it, but had aggressively denied it when asked and insisted that would be completely antithetical to everything that he teaches. Then there's these leaked emails that are exposed by Derek from More Plates, More Dates, indicating that he's on a whole host of steroids, as well as has a strong desire to use them to boost his social media profile. Like, the purpose of getting in this incredible shape at his life is not to simply grow his businesses, which he's done. It's to get social media famous. And so he makes this. Liver King then acknowledges in his apology that he is in fact on steroids, did in fact use steroids, seems to not own the entirety of the steroid stack that he was on. But I thought the part that made it I can't receive this because it feels like you're not being frank with me, was I never imagined this would happen, never thought that this would happen thing, when in the emails, a smaller point was that he indicated his main aim was to get super famous by having an impossible to attain physique. And then in the video, while he says the words, "I take full ownership, I fucked up, this is my fault," there's quick deflections to lots of men hurt themselves or off themselves or do all this kind of stuff. And so I have to do what it's unclear what it says. So I see you nodding.
No, I'm no longer active listening, so it's difficult. But he mentions a few things in the apology that's like, for the 9,000 men, I had to do this because I had to save you. I had to have the 9 ancestral tenets, and for that, I am not sorry. And it's a little of that I saw we had some reaction to.
We can name that, which is when you refuse to apologize for something that you were not asked to apologize for, thereby insinuating that people are attacking you upon vectors that are inappropriate. That's a thing. I don't know what the name for that would be, but it is, again, not to stand squarely in the accusation, which I would say is you are promoting a impossible to attain physique while offering a specific set of criteria that people can do to be more like you, including the 9 ancestral tenets, including buying your products. And then in the second half, which I believed was true, was he says that he suffers from low self-esteem, which I thoroughly believed. But again, even that felt used. It was like it was calculated vulnerability in order to attain a deflective posture. And like, the problem is if you're saying that which I believe he says at one point, which I thought was the most honest moment of the entire apology, where he says, "I beat myself up in the gym. I work so hard because I have such low self-esteem. So I break my back trying to do things to make me feel better." I totally commiserate with that. But what I would like to see is not that you shouldn't do these 9 ancestral tenets, but maybe there's something missing. Maybe this way of doing things is lacking or is too much, or like maybe you shouldn't promote yourself as the guru that has it all, when in fact the way that you are doing things and feeling is not conducive to you having a sense of inner flourishing. And that's not to say that incomplete people can't be teachers or be on social media, but I do think that it's important that you own the state of your experience so that people who might follow you can decide if they want to opt into the way of life and the style of things that you promote.
Beautiful. I also have a general distrust of his entire business model prior to this of being a very famous and successful businessman with multi-million-dollar company, knowing that he's willing to lie to people in off camera. Like that was a big thing that also struck me in the More Plays, More Dates video. It was like, my friends talked to him off camera. Like, come on, man. Like, so what are you on? Like, I'm cool with you doing it on my show, but what are you on? It's like, no, I'm totally natural. And so it seems to me like, I feel like it's all a grift now. Like your supplement company clearly didn't get you these natural results. Neither do your 9 ancestral tenets keep you happy and healthy. And I'm dubious of the Liver King now.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think, unfortunately, this is the thing that you can do to yourself. And if you tell lies, and they're not even the more common lies of omission, they're lies of commission. You are actively saying, and then when challenged, pushing back against the challenge, and you're only even fessing up to anything when hardcore exposed by something else. It becomes very difficult to take anything that you say that sounds a little bit impressive seriously. So like I agree with you, like the hundreds of millions of dollars, I don't believe it. Not because I have any evidence not to, but I also have no reason to, given your track record. And you have established a track record of lying to get me to believe things about you that would be advantageous for you to have me believe. So yeah, we don't need to spend too much time. I'm not here. I thought it was a particularly interesting case study. And if we had to zoom out and say, okay, what is happening here? It's unfortunate, but I think that in order to attain the highest levels of fame, money, and influence in the world, it's really tough to get there without a gaping hole inside of your heart. Because once you have put a number on it, X million or X many followers, like if you're not satisfied with that, or you haven't realized that doesn't lead to satisfaction, the only people who are playing the game at that level, I'm not saying only because I think that you can also do what you love, but it gets increasingly hard to get more and more amounts of money and continue to steamroll forward if there's not something deeply missing. And I do think he was so honest when he said, I beat myself up because I don't feel good enough, so I lift heavy weights and I work so hard and I try to make myself more externally so that I can feel like more internally.